Happy Virtual Spring 2021, student leaders. This is the Center for Student Involvement, building better programming for the virtual spring and beyond, with Calvin Haney, myself, the Associate Director for the Center for Student Involvement, pronouns he, him, his, and my colleague.
Hi everyone, my name is Jordan Harris. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I am the coordinator for student involvement in CSI.
We're going to take a few moments to walk you through some of the essential components that you all need to consider as student leaders for better programming. What we discovered over the fall semester is that it's a transition into the virtual sphere. And what we wanted to do to kick off the winter welcome and to engage student leaders was to give you some tips, some tricks, and some guidelines for thinking about better programming that you can host during the spring semester. We're excited to have resources for you, and we're really hoping that we can all work better through the challenge of social distancing to provide a great environment. So our time is really going to be spent looking through a reminder of the Center for Student Involvement structure, some of the information related to CSI Engage so that you get familiar with how to use the Engage platform on another level and the value of that. And then we're going to take you through the 3 C's, 1, 2, 3, of better programming for the virtual environment. And then after that, we're going to really invite you to an opportunity to meet with Jordan and I on some virtual Zoom sessions and some brown bags to really flesh out some of the ideas that you might think about after you've reviewed this webinar. All right, with that being said, we're going to start with the structure. The Center for Student Involvement is an office of the Office of Campus Life. And under the Office of Campus Life, our office, the Center for Student Involvement, is really the foundation for the procedures and guidelines and advising support for over 200 plus student organizations. And we really provide the financing support, organization advising, recognition, which you've gone through for annual club renewal and for new club registration. We support your programming development for successful programs during the year. And then we help you build relationships with each other and campus partners for better programming and outcomes. We represent 6 major programming entities, or what we call governance groups, with our student leaders. And the first is the American University Student Government, which is the executive board and the Senate. The second is our AU Club Council, which is our undergraduate council that supports programming and leadership development for our 150 recognized student clubs. Our student media board that oversees our print, radio, and TV stations and publications that range from the Eagle, which is our annual, or which is our regular traditional school newspaper, to the Black Print, which is a magazine of culture and experiences for students of Black African heritage. We also have ATV, which hosts TV programs, and WVAU, which is a radio station on the web at wvau.org that serves music from all different genres. Under the student government umbrella, we have the programming boards, which is the Kennedy Political Union and the Student Union Board. Kennedy Political Union is our speakers bureau that hosts our big name speakers that are tied to political identities or social advocacy campaigns. And our Student Union Board hosts concerts and programs that keep you engaged in a sense of belonging and having a good time on campus. Next is our fraternity and sorority life community, which is comprised of our 3 councils, which is the Interfraternity Council, which traditionally male men's Greek organizations, our Inter-Greek Collective, which is our multicultural, our multicultural Greek communities, and the Panhellenic Council, which is our traditional women's social organizations. And they're all here advocating academic excellence, engagement, and community involvement. And then lastly, we have our graduate councils, which is our graduate leadership council for our academic departments across the campus that represent College of Arts and Sciences, School of Communication, School of International Service, Kogod School of Business, and School of Public Affairs. And also we have a new council coming online with the School of education. So
Right. So now we're going to talk a little bit about Engage, which also you may know as Campus Labs Engage. It is CSI's hub for the virtual student experience. So it's one of our online platforms that all of our recognized student organizations on campus have a page on, where students and student organizations can connect with each other, find each other, post their events, and then do some operational club things. So some of the things that students who are looking to get involved with can do is specifically find student organizations. So as you are hosting your page on Engage and you are posting your photos, you're posting your events you're having, students who are looking to get involved with you as a club can find your page on Engage and connect with you there. On that same vein of searching for involvement opportunities, we also have a number of our different offices on campus that do engagement. So they also post their involvement opportunities as well as any events that you are doing. And then also we have Cork, which is a separate app, but it does connect to Engage. So that's where students would go if they're looking to connect with you with events. They can use that app instead of logging into like a browser and going to Engage. They can use that app to connect directly with you and find your events and attend your events through that.
And the great thing about the Cork app is it's the mobile equivalent to the Engage page. So all student organization leaders can download the Cork app and have access to their events and do some work around their events from the Cork app as well.
Definitely. Here are some other features Engage has to support you in your operations as a student club on campus. So you can store your governing documents. So there is a tool called Documents on Engage where you can put your constitution, any of your bylaws, any of your documents that you use for your operation for your clubs. That can be used here in Engage instead of using something like OneDrive or Google Drive. You can also host it right here on Engage, so that when you're doing your transitioning and you have new executive boards coming in, all of your documents are in one place and they won't be lost from one exec board to the next exec board. Another cool thing you can do is host your elections virtually, especially since we're virtual this semester. You don't want to be collecting paper ballots, like it's not really feasible right now. So you can host your elections virtually through the Engage platform, which all of your members already have access to. You can do things like voting, you can have your people and be nominated. It's a really simple process. If you're interested, just email Calvin at calvinh@american.edu and he will walk you through that process. And we also have some resources if you all just want to reach out and let us know if you're really interested in using that function. This is also your outreach headquarters. So like I was saying in the previous slide, each recognized club has an Engage page. So this is where students who are looking to get involved can do direct outreach with you. So instead of going to your Instagram or your Twitter or your Facebook, if they don't want to find it, this is your homepage for finding all of our clubs on campus. So making sure that you have a really strong page that shows who you are as an organization, talks about your mission, has some pictures. We even have a space where you can add YouTube videos to really put yourself out there. Feel free to do that and make your page as robust as possible so students know who you are and what you do on campus. And then lastly, we have events and programming. So as we were saying before, it connects to the Cork app. So any of your events that you're doing, whether that be external to all AU people or just internal for just your organization, these event listings can be hosted on Engage so people can know what you're doing and they can have easy access to attend your online events. With our events portal, you can just put in your Zoom link, and then people can be taken directly to your Zoom from Engage. And so if you're connecting with your social media, one easy thing that you can really do is just saying, hey, link in bio to our Engage page, and then students can go directly to your Engage page and find the event rather than putting the whole american.edu Zoom link in your social media pages. So it's a really cool tool to just direct people to one solid place, and then they can find everything that your organization is doing in this one place. Cool.
So building better programming really rests in 3 foundational areas for all of the student groups. The first one is creativity. We want you to create new possibilities for working in the box in our Zooms or our web programs or our virtual experiences. The second one is consistency, really building a social media presence and a communication planning strategy so that you're consistent in how you connect with potential student leaders and your current members. And then clarity. We really want you to think about programming against your mission and sharing your view of the world. Creativity, consistency, clarity, those three C's as a mnemonic device really serve as a foundation for how you think. I'm sure that you're already trying to be creative and consistent in how you work, and you're being clear in sharing the missions. So what we wanted to do with putting these three C's forward is to really give you a snapshot of some ways that clubs have done it and some ways that the Center for Student Involvement recommends that you engage in these three foundational practices. The first one, creativity, we really find in three different areas. We really want you to continue to host virtual live events using Facebook Live and Instagram. The Center for Student Involvement has had some wonderful experiences with that. And Jordan will talk a little bit about that. We want you to begin to consider virtual performances, either a virtual dance party or your own Tiny Desk concert. There are resources through the Club Council, and we really want you to begin to bring some talent to the campus virtually that you would find exciting. Or gaming nights. So I know a lot of the student organizations have begun to use the Discord app and tabletop simulator purchases from different game softwares to host games. So we want you to build community through gaming.
So if you look on our screen, we have a few event flyer images. So we'll kind of talk through a little bit about each of them. So first we have Drag Bingo, which is one of our virtual live events. So with this event, some of the queens came and we hosted it live via Zoom and via Facebook Live so that folks could see if they didn't want to join the Zoom and they were just on their Facebook, they could join via Facebook, or if you really wanted to interact with us and be in the Zoom with us, you could have the option of joining the Zoom. It's also really cool if you're hosting something and you want to do it sort of like if you are familiar with the Versus events that have been popular throughout the quarantine period on Instagram. They're hosted via Instagram Live, where you have two people and they're battling it out via music. So you can really use your social media and the social media tools that are already available to have these live events to connect with your audience, just depending on what type of the event is, what's the structure, what is your team looking like, or what is your team capable of handling for event maintenance. Also, we have some virtual performances. So previous semester in the fall, the Rude Mechanicals did a production of Pride and Prejudice, which was really cool because they actually found a way to do a performance virtually. And they used, I'm not sure exactly the service, but they used a service that hosted performances virtually so that they were able to all be in their different locations, but still come together and do a play, which is of course their mission for what they do on campus. That was a really cool and creative event idea that they came up with. And then lastly, what we just did a few days ago was a partnership with the AU Gamers where we had a game night. And that was hosted via Discord. So the homepage was basically Discord, but then in the different Discord pages, some of the AU Gamers e-board was hosting different games. So they had Among Us, Uno, I'm not sure what else they had, Calvin, I'm not a big gamer, but they had different pages so that if you wanted to play 5 games simultaneously, just having someone host a different game in the different pages, that's a really cool way to connect with your audience, but also giving them the option of different choices of what they want to play throughout the night rather than just saying, hey, you're stuck to just playing Uno. So of course, when we do our live sessions, which we'll talk about a little bit later, if you have ideas or you want to, or any of these ideas interest you, or you want to just learn more about it, this is a great time to come out and talk with us and we can give you some more information.
Absolutely. And the value of creativity is that it gives more student members or members of your e-board the opportunity to engage. And by no means are we asking any specific one of you as the executive board president or vice president or programming chair to host these creative events alone. We actually recommend that you have a minimum of 3 to 5 executive board members or active members on the programming team really help you through the beginning, middle, and end of the programming to ensure that you have participation, connection, and a sense of ease with the systems that you're working with. So the second one, consistency. We have 3 areas, and those 3 areas really focus around how you engage with the Center for Student Involvement so that we can help you. Because remember, all complex events are virtual events that require a contract for a third-party vendor or service. Any of the events that we're putting forward in terms of our creative realm are kind of outside of anything that an AU student can do, or we're assuming that it is. And with that being the case, it requires some resources, it requires some planning, and it requires some documentation to ensure that we've got everything together so that we can get paid. So the first step in consistency is, as you've come together with an idea, is to meet with the Center for Student Involvement. As you can see to the right of this consistency area here is the contact and name for both Jordan and myself, where you can send an email to reach out and connect and begin to think about or share the plans that you're thinking about with your small team. The second one is for you to organize a programming schedule. The semester is going to go by faster than we think, and we really want to begin to codify a series of 3 to 5 major events that you can host. Now, major event doesn't mean that you're doing a $2,000 virtual mixer for every event, but you're thinking about what are the key 3 or 5 program or club meeting opportunities that we have to really focus on through the semester. It's really important that you lay that foundation here before going into February, March, and then the concluding of the semester in April. And then we really want you to consistently promote your events or engagement opportunities in the CSI Engage portal. The more images and the more events that we have posted there, the more eyes are going to your student organization and the possibilities that you can bring. And we really want you to be consistent in sharing that because it creates an exciting virtual environment for students who might be feeling still disconnected from the college experience that you want to provide as a leader of a student club. Oh, and then clarity is the last of the 3. And clarity is really the ability for you to be clear in programming that meets your goals and expectations. We want you to, on all of your social medias and in your Facebook and any email that you share, to broadcast your mission, to really let folks know what you stand for and how you represent. We really want you to focus this virtual spring semester on building a community that you care about and a community that cares about the people that you're concerned with. And it's really important to move from sort of being disconnected in the virtual space, and it's really easy to sort of sit back. But what we want you to do is focus in your time together on what programs or what services can we provide that really build our community and help us feel safe and connected to what we're to what's happening here in the virtual spring. And then we want you to focus your priorities. We want you to focus not on bringing the biggest talent or having the biggest virtual event, but really any event or programming opportunity that increases your membership and prepares you for elections, that really helps you find the new talent, those folks who won't, once you graduate or once you transfer out for your study abroad or once you want to leave the organization, that they're there. There are students who are willing to take up the work and continue the mission of the organization after you've gone. Jordan, what are some of the programs that you've got up here for us for Clarity?
Definitely. So first in this top corner, we have Sunrise AU, which is one of our advocacy groups on campus for climate change. So one of the things that they've really done with their social media presence is really make their mission central in how they interact with others in their community and interact with their social media. So here's one of their Instagram posts that said, help us make real world change this week. So they're actively putting out, you know, what is it that we're doing on campus? Who are we? What do we stand for? And what are we trying to see happen? They're trying to make sure that in their social media presence, you know exactly who they are, exactly what they do. And they make that really clear so that, you know, when people are engaging with them, they know that Sunrise AU deals with climate change. We're here as an advocacy group, and this is who we are. And they make that really clear in their social media presence. Another with building your community, here we have AASU. This is also from their Instagram, all of these photos are. But this is a flyer for their internal game night, family versus family. So with AASU, one of the things that they do is have like family groups within the organization to build community. So they're doing a game night where it's two families, which are both a part of the AESU integral membership. And they're building community through that way. So they're making it fun, they're having events, and they're broadcasting that so that if you want to recruit or you are having people who are looking to get interested in your club, they can go to your social media and they can see what you do. And it can just build excitement and build engagement for working with that or joining that organization. And then lastly, here we have AUMSA. Another thing they're trying to do is increase membership. So here they have a freshman meet and greet group or event, I should say. And by doing that, you're increasing your membership. You are directly reaching out to the first year students who haven't been on campus yet, who are looking to get involved, but maybe even feel even more anxiety by being fully virtual and feeling like, okay, how do I just enter into a club that I don't know anyone, I haven't even been on campus yet. So they're actively making a way to incorporate the first year students into their organization, making them feel warm and connected as a family. And as with their club engagement, they're really targeting that marketing to a certain subset of students who may need a little bit more help to get involved. So some really cool things. We haven't seen any preparing for elections yet because we did just start spring, but as the semester goes and as we enter into March, in April, we'll definitely be seeing more social media presence around, hey, apply to be a part of the e-group. This is when we're doing elections, and that would be a great thing to do with your social media so you can let people know that you're doing elections and then get them involved with, hey, this is how you enter into the process of elections with our organization.
Yeah, absolutely, Jordan. And one of the values for each of the events that you've shown here from our student organizations is that it's the incubator for those who have the potential. So at every point in any of these events, you want to pepper or sprinkle the suggestion of leadership to the students that you meet with to give them an opportunity to see that there's growth and opportunities for them to plug in to the experience that you're putting forward. So what we've got here with creativity, consistency, and clarity is not that you have to do every single one of these 9 points that we've identified across the 3. But what we're looking for you to do is play a game of tic-tac-toe. Sometimes it might be hitting all 3 in creativity, or it might be hitting 1 in each of the areas, creativity, consistency, and clarity. You might focus on virtual live events, organizing a programming schedule, and focusing on your priorities. Or looking to build some clarity with how you build your community, meet with CSI, and host virtual performances. We're just asking you to choose 3 that can help improve the quality of your experience for your student organization over the virtual spring. And one of the things that we found is the more focus we provide to these 3 areas and these 9 dimensions, your programming will get better for when you return to a physical face-to-face space, because there's more opportunity to create good structures, to practice good habits, and to support an environment that is a little harder to reach out to. It's not like you can just last minute put the flyer up and folks show up. You've got to put some dedication and some pre-planning into thinking about how folks show up. So it's a great opportunity for you to build some personal capacity and team ability for thinking ahead with some of the programming that you have. Any thoughts here, Jordan, before I switch to the next slide? Oh, awesome. So what are your next steps? We've given you some things to think about. We've given you some possibilities in terms of events. So we want you to meet with your team. We want you to take this information back. We have this webinar. View the webinar with the team. Meet with the team and talk about some planning ideas that you might have, or some interesting things that you might want to bring, some creativity inside the box. And then we want you to make your plan. Really sit down with your executive board, sit down with the AU Club Council, sit down with the CSI advisors to plan out an event that makes sense over the coming month. Then we want you to take some time to generate the documentation for an allocation request. Always remember that the AU Club Council has club consultants that are here to support you and provide guidance for you preparing to submit allocation and funding requests in CSI Engage. The club consultants are there. You can go to www.auclubcouncil.com for some additional information and connection. And we want you to, again, connect with us. Jordan and I are sitting at our terminals, waiting and excited to support you and really help you create events that matter. You think it's over? No, this is just the beginning. The webinar is just the introduction to information and content for you to bring to our Let's Build programming coaching sessions that we have for you here as student leaders. So over the month of February, or the first few weeks of February, February 4th, February 8th, and February 11th, Jordan and I will have brown bag or coaching sessions from 12:30 on those dates to sit down and walk you through some ideas and talk through the possibilities and see what's possible. We hope that you choose to use this resource, and we help create some great programming and initiatives that you really feel proud of.
And this is also a great time for you to come and chat with us. If you had any thoughts or questions about any of the events that we highlighted today, or you have this really cool event that you don't know how you can make it possible, this is the perfect time to come and chat with us, brainstorm ideas, and we can see if it's a possibility and how we can make it work. So even if you just have a little nugget of an event or just something that you really want to do, but you have no idea where to start, come chat with us and we can see what we can do.
So thank you for joining us for our Build Better Programming webinar. We hope it's useful. And remember that we are here, Calvin Haney at Calvin, C-A-L-V-I-N-H at American.edu. And
my name's Jordan again, Jordan, J-O-R-D-A-N-H at American.edu.
Okay, we look forward to seeing you at the coaching sessions, and we look forward to seeing your programming submissions over the next few weeks. Thanks a lot, everyone. Bye-bye.